Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Everyday English Channel. I'm Sarah, and I am so incredibly thrilled you are here with us today. We are tackling something that trips up learners at every single level, something you need every day, something that will instantly make your English sound more natural, more fluent, and more native-like.
And I'm Jack. Today, we're teaching you exactly how to use seems and looks correctly in English, your perception vocabulary, your description confidence, your observation fluency. This is perfect for describing people, situations, feelings, and everything around you in daily life.
Daily life, exactly. And here's something exciting we'll reveal a little later. There is one core difference between seems and looks that native speakers feel automatically. Once you understand it, choosing the right word becomes completely effortless, natural, automatic.
Automatic completely. But first, please hit that subscribe button right now. Join our Everyday English channel family. We genuinely want you here. We truly do. Because today, we are not just teaching you two vocabulary words, we are teaching you how to express observations and impressions the way a native English speaker does naturally.
Naturally and confidently. And please stay until the very end because we will reveal the biggest mistake learners make when choosing between seems and looks. This mistake happens constantly. It makes your English sound slightly off. Once you fix it, everything clicks immediately.
Clicks immediately, perfectly. Also, drop a comment below using seems or looks in a sentence correctly. Use the patterns we teach you today. We read every single comment. Your practice is so important. Your engagement means everything to us.
Everything to us sincerely. Real rules, natural examples, clear patterns. Let's start with the most important question. Why do learners confuse seems and looks in the first place?
In the first place, honestly, because both words talk about impressions. Both describe how something appears to us. Both are followed by adjectives. She looks tired. She seems tired. Both sentences exist. Both are correct, but they mean something slightly different. That difference matters greatly.
Matters greatly, significantly, and that difference is exactly what we are teaching you today, completely, thoroughly, with real examples from real conversations.
Let's begin with looks. This word connects to your eyes, to visual information, to what you physically see. When you use looks, you're basing your impression on something you can observe with your sight.
With your sight, visually, the structure is simple. Subject plus looks plus adjective. She looks tired. He looks happy. The food looks delicious. That dress looks beautiful. Always describing what your eyes are telling you.
Your eyes telling you visually. She looks tired. You can see it. Her eyes are heavy, her posture is low. Your eyes collected that information and formed that impression. Very visual, very immediate.
Immediate and direct. The soup looks amazing. You haven't tasted it, you haven't smelled it, but visually it looks incredible. Your eyes are doing all the work here. Very sensory, very specific.
Very specific to sight. He looks nervous. You can see his body language. His hands are shaking. He's avoiding eye contact. Visual clues, visual impression. That is looks doing its job perfectly.
Perfectly and naturally. Now, here's something important about looks. It can also describe physical appearance in a more general way, not just a temporary state, but an overall assessment of how someone or something appears.
Appears overall completely. She looks like a doctor, meaning her appearance, her clothing, her manner, visually gives you that impression. You haven't spoken to her, you haven't read her resume, just visual information.
Just visual information only. That building looks very old. From what you can see, the architecture, the materials, the condition, your eyes tell you it is old. Visual evidence, visual conclusion. That is looks perfectly.
Looks perfectly used. This road looks dangerous. The cracks, the narrow width, the steep drop, all things you can see. Your eyes are gathering evidence and forming a conclusion. Classic use of looks.
Classic use, exactly. Now let's talk about looks like with a noun. This is a very important pattern. Subject plus looks like plus noun. She looks like a model. That looks like trouble. He looks like your brother. All based on visual comparison.
Visual comparison, important. That cloud looks like a rabbit. You are comparing what you visually see to something else. Your eyes are making a creative comparison. Very descriptive, very expressive, very natural.
Natural and creative. This looks like a great restaurant. From the outside, the decoration, the crowd, the presentation, visually it seems like a great choice. Looks like plus noun. Very common pattern. Use it confidently.
Now, let's explore seems. This is where it gets interesting. Seems goes beyond just your eyes. Seems is about your overall impression, your gut feeling, the conclusion you reach from multiple types of information, things you hear, feel, sense, experience, or just intuitively know.
Intuitively know, deeply. The structure is the same. Subject plus seems plus adjective. She seems tired. He seems happy. The situation seems complicated. But the source of your impression is broader than just what you see.
Broader than vision entirely. She seems tired. Maybe she hasn't said anything. Maybe she looks fine visually, but the way she is speaking, the energy she is giving off, something you are sensing, all of that tells you she is tired. You are using more than your eyes.
More than eyes. Exactly. This neighborhood seems safe. You walked around, you noticed the people, you heard the sounds, you felt the atmosphere. It wasn't just one visual clue, it was a combination of sensory and emotional information. That is seems.
That is seems beautifully. He seems like a kind person. You've had a conversation with him. You noticed how he speaks, how he listens, the warmth in his voice, the way he makes you feel comfortable. All of this together creates your impression. Seems.
Seems from everything. Something seems wrong here. You cannot point to one specific visual detail. It's a feeling, an intuition, a combination of small signals that your brain is processing together. Very powerful use of seems.
Powerful use, naturally. Seems also appears in more formal or professional contexts. When you want to express a conclusion carefully without being too direct, seems is often the better choice. It sounds thoughtful, measured, analytical.
Analytical and professional. The project seems behind schedule. The client seems dissatisfied. The strategy seems flawed. These are conclusions based on gathered information, patterns, and analysis, not just a quick visual glance. Seems carries that weight.
Carries that weight importantly. Seems like with a noun works the same way as looks like, but again, broader impression. It seems like a good opportunity. It seems like he is hiding something. It seems like the right decision. Impression from multiple sources, not just eyes.
Not just eyes, exactly. It seems like they are not interested. Maybe they haven't said no directly, but their tone, their delays, their lack of enthusiasm, everything combined gives you that impression. Seems like. Very perceptive, very natural.
Now let's place seems and looks side by side so the difference becomes crystal clear. Ready for some comparisons?
Ready completely, absolutely. She looks upset. You can see it on her face. Red eyes, frowning, tense jaw. Visual information only. Direct observation.
Direct observation visual. She seems upset. Maybe her face is calm, but her words are short. Her tone is flat. She is distant. You are sensing it from multiple signals, not just one visual impression.
Multiple signals together. The house looks abandoned. From the outside, visually, broken windows, overgrown garden, peeling paint. Your eyes collected all of that information. Clear visual impression.
Clear visual impression. The house seems abandoned. Maybe you knocked and heard nothing. Maybe the neighbors told you no one has been there in months. Maybe you noticed the mail piling up inside. Broader information, non-visual clues included, seems.
Seems from everything available. He looks confident. You can see his posture, his eye contact, his steady expression, visual impression, very clear, very immediate.
Very immediate, visual. He seems confident. You have spoken to him. You noticed how he handles questions, how he responds to pressure, how comfortable he is in conversation. A deeper, fuller impression, seems.
Seems is deeper. This is the core distinction. Looks is your eyes talking. Seems is your whole brain and gut talking. Both create impressions, but they gather information differently.
Now let's talk about some special uses and exceptions, because English always has those. Important awareness needed here.
Awareness needed always. First special use, seems in reported speech and indirect thought. It seems that he forgot. It seems that the meeting was canceled. It seems that nobody knew. In these cases, seems introduces a conclusion or finding, very formal, very analytical.
Analytical and formal. It seems that the economy is improving. You have read reports. You have heard analysis. Multiple sources of information point to this conclusion. Seems that is perfect for this professional, thoughtful expression.
Thoughtful expression, precise. It looks like rain, very common phrase. You look at the sky visually, dark clouds, heavy atmosphere, and you conclude it will rain. Classic looks like for weather prediction based on visual evidence.
Visual evidence, classic. But notice, you could also say it seems like it might rain if you were basing it on more than the sky. The humidity you feel, the smell in the air, the way animals are behaving. Broader sensory impression, seems like is then more appropriate.
More appropriate naturally. Second special use, looks with people describing physical attractiveness or style. She looks amazing today. He looks really sharp in that suit. You look fantastic. These are compliments based on physical appearance, visual, immediate, warm.
Warm and sincere. You would not typically say, "You seem fantastic" as a compliment about appearance. That changes the meaning completely. Seems would then suggest a personality conclusion, not a visual one. Important distinction. Choose carefully.
Choose carefully, always. Third special use, seems for expressing doubt or uncertainty politely. That seems a little expensive. That seems unusual. That seems like a lot of work. You're using seems to soften your opinion, to be polite, to avoid being too direct or critical.
Avoid too direct perfectly. That seems a little expensive is much more polite than that is too expensive. The seems creates a gentle distance. It shows you might be wrong. It leaves room for discussion. Very British in style, very diplomatic.
Diplomatic and soft. Looks does not carry that same diplomatic softness as naturally. You could say, that looks expensive, but it sounds more like a direct visual observation, less of a polite cushion, more of a plain statement.
Now let's discuss the most common mistakes learners make. This is the section you absolutely cannot miss.
Cannot miss ever. Mistake number 1, using looks when the information is not visual. Wrong. After reading his essay, he looks very intelligent. You did not see his intelligence, you read it, you processed it. The correct word is seems. After reading his essay, he seems very intelligent. Information came from reading, not seeing.
Not seeing, exactly. Wrong. After talking to her for an hour, she looks kind. You did not see her kindness with your eyes. You experienced it through conversation. Correct. After talking to her for an hour, she seems kind. Conversation equals seems territory.
Seems territory perfectly. Mistake number 2, using seems when the impression is clearly, purely visual and immediate. Wrong. That painting seems beautiful. If you are standing in front of it and reacting visually and immediately, that painting looks beautiful is more natural. Your eyes are the source. Use looks.
Use looks visually. Of course, seems is not entirely wrong here. It just implies a deeper, more thoughtful appreciation. If you studied the painting, understood its technique, and formed a considered opinion, it seems beautiful in a complex way. Could work. Context matters.
Context matters always. Third special use, confusing looks like and seems like with nouns. Both are correct, but learners sometimes avoid seems like with nouns entirely, which limits their expression. It seems like a great idea. It seems like the wrong time. These are perfectly natural sentences. Use them confidently.
Use them confidently, freely. Mistake number 4, forgetting that seems can stand alone with to be. She seems to be happy. He seems to be struggling. It seems to be a mistake. This pattern is extremely common, very formal, very professional, very useful.
Very useful professionally. The system seems to be working well. They seem to be making progress. Seems to be plus present participle is a beautiful, sophisticated pattern. Practice it actively.
Now let's explore negative forms. How to say something does not look or seem a certain way. Very practical, very common.
Very common daily. She doesn't look well today. Immediate visual concern. You can see something is off with her appearance. Direct and caring observation.
Caring observation, natural. He doesn't seem happy about the decision. Based on his tone, his words, his energy, a broader impression of dissatisfaction, not necessarily visible on his face. Seems captures that depth.
That depth perfectly. That doesn't look right to me. A visual reaction. Something you see is giving you concern. Immediate, instinctive, visual.
Visual, instinctive. Something doesn't seem right. A broader, deeper unease. Maybe nothing specific you can see, but your gut, your intuition, your overall sense is telling you something is off. Classic seems. Very powerful expression.
Powerful expression, important. In questions, the pattern is equally natural. Does this look okay to you? Asking for a visual opinion. Checking appearance. Very common before presentations, interviews, or important meetings.
Important occasions, naturally. Does this seem right to you? Asking for a broader judgment, not just visual. Asking someone to consider the logic, the feeling, the overall impression. A more thoughtful question, more analytical.
More analytical, deeply. How does this look? Visual feedback request. Quick, practical, every day. How does this seem to you? Broader opinion request. More reflective, more considered. Both useful in different situations.
Now let's talk about some fixed expressions and idioms with looks and seems. These appear constantly in natural conversation. Memorize them. Use them freely.
Use them freely, naturally. It looks that way. Meaning, yes, it appears to be true based on what we can see or observe. Very casual, very common response.
Common response, easy. So it seems. A classic, slightly formal way to agree that something appears to be true, often used after someone states an observation. Very sophisticated expression.
Sophisticated expression, elegant. Looks can be deceiving. A very famous English expression meaning appearances are not always reality. What something looks like on the outside may not reflect the truth inside. Very wise saying.
Wise saying, important. Things are not always what they seem. Another powerful expression. What something seems like, the impression it gives, may not be the full truth. Reality can be different from impression. Very philosophical.
Philosophical and wise. She is not what she seems. Mystery, hidden depth, suggestion that her impression is different from her reality. Very dramatic, very storytelling, common in movies and novels.
Common in storytelling, naturally. It would seem so. A very polite, slightly formal way to agree with something. More careful than simply saying yes. Shows thoughtfulness. Shows measured agreement.
Measured agreement, diplomatic. By the looks of it, a common phrase meaning based on visual evidence. By the looks of it, the project is almost finished. Natural, expressive, native-like.
Native-like expression, perfect. As it seems, meaning based on the impression available.
slightly formal, often used in writing and professional speech. As it seems, the negotiations are going well.
Let's do a final comparison exercise. Listen carefully and decide which word feels more natural and why.
Why exactly? Always.
Situation 1. You walk into a room and see your friend sitting quietly with a frown. You say, "You look sad." Why? Because you walked in and your eyes immediately collected that information. Visual, immediate, looks.
Looks perfectly right.
Situation 2. You have been talking to your colleague for 30 minutes. Something about how they speak, what they say, how they respond to you suggests they are unhappy at work. You say, "You seem a little unhappy lately." Why? Because your impression comes from the whole conversation, not just one visual moment. Broader, deeper. Seems.
Seems perfectly right.
Situation 3. You see a brand new cafe from the street. The decoration is beautiful, the lighting is warm, the people inside look happy. You say, "That cafe looks wonderful." Visual impression from outside, immediate, looks.
Looks naturally chosen.
Situation 4. You have visited the cafe 3 times. The coffee is always perfect, the staff are always friendly, the atmosphere always relaxes you. You say, "That cafe seems like a really special place." Why? Because your impression comes from repeated experience, feeling, and observation over time, not just one visual moment. Seems.
Seems perfectly chosen.
Do you feel the difference now? Looks is fast, visual, immediate. Seems is broader, deeper, more considered. Both are essential. Both are beautiful. Master both completely.
That is everything. The complete guide. Real patterns, clear rules, natural examples. You now know how to use seems and looks correctly, confidently, and naturally in English.
In English, perfectly. Please hit that like button right now if today's lesson helped you finally understand the difference between seems and looks. Your like tells us this content is valuable. It helps other learners find us too.
Find us importantly. And please, please subscribe to Everyday English Channel. We're building something truly special here. A community of learners who are serious about speaking English naturally and confidently. We need you in this family. We genuinely do.
We genuinely do, truly. You are not just a viewer to us. You're part of something meaningful. Every time you watch, you're choosing to grow, choosing to improve. We're honored you spend that time with us.
Honored, truly deeply. Drop a comment below right now. Write one sentence using seems and one sentence using looks. Show us what you learned today. We read every single comment, every one.
Every comment matters. Your practice builds your confidence. Your comments inspire other learners around the world. Your progress is our greatest reward.
Our greatest reward, always. Start using seems and looks correctly today, in your conversations, in your writing, in the observations about the world around you.
The world around you beautifully. We'll see you next time on Everyday English Channel for another lesson on speaking English naturally in real everyday situations.
Everyday situations confidently. Take care, everyone.
Keep practicing every day.
See you next time.
Happy Learning 2026.
Goodbye, everyone.
We'll miss you until next time.